I was about to be funny, but seriously, you were gonna say, how can they find it? I was gonna say, in the wind, baby. I'm retired. But
HNIC checking in. Well, we interview Black entrepreneurs and business people that are molding and shaping the culture. Today we have two special guests, Veronica and Delvon Jackson. I don't like to always get too deep into what the business is. I let them explain it for themselves and do a little bit of marketing.
I'll let the missus go.
So the first business was, I think when I was doing hair, that's where we started. I was doing hair in the kitchen when I met my husband 27 years ago. And he was working a 9-to-5. So he kind of put his work ethic to my hustler ethic. And then we made something magical happen. When we opened up our first salon, it was pretty much like a rough draft. I had to learn how to be, a little more assertive, a little more professional. And that's where I got from him, being that he managed a lot of businesses for other people. He became my manager. So that was the start. And the hustler I am, it wasn't enough. So I always have my hands in different things, right? So a friend introduced me to income taxes. So I learned how to do that for myself. I was working as a self-employed person. However, when my husband got involved, I became a business owner. I now have employees to this day. So we started that in 2012. Now we have 10 employees, and we just recently retired and passed the business on to one of our daughters. So we'll see what happens this year with that. And from there, because he set up the business so well and business funding, now he's getting into house flipping.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, we had a pretty rough start, but now I'm really starting to enjoy the fruit of our labor, so to speak.
That part right there.
Good. That's good. One of the virtues is fortitude, so that's real important to focus on that, and you see what comes from that. That's very beautiful. Definitely. But we want to tap in just so people know a little bit more about you guys. Where'd you guys grow up, and how was it growing up in LA coming up? Because I know it's a lot of crazy stuff that happens, and we just want people to know that you can come from anywhere and overcome anything, and that's the whole fortitude thing we want to get. So let's start with Veronica first, and then Delvon. Just tell us where you guys grew up and how was it?
I am originally a Southern girl. I grew up in Louisiana. Once I started school, my mom brought me to California. And my childhood, from what I surfacely remember, was pretty good. Now that I'm older and going through therapy and things just for self-care, it's pretty dysfunctional because our parents didn't know a lot about business and Black economics. Our parents was taught to go to college, get a good job, and work on that job for 30 years, get a good retirement, and then 3 years later, you die and leave your family something, right? So in a household that, was traditional and then religious, it didn't leave a lot of room for a child to express their authentic self. So you can imagine I have to listen to parents talk about something that all in my mind, maybe not my other siblings, but in my mind, I'm like, that's not making sense, but okay. And the more and more I'm growing up, the further I'm getting away from my true self. The more I'm growing up, the more I'm hearing it. And then, words are frequency, and the more of this is coming at me, and that's why I feel I had it so hard in my marriage. I had it really hard in business. because the people who were training me and the people who were telling me it's okay to go here every week and give here and give into, I trusted them. They didn't know any better. You know, our parents worked really hard to give us a good life. They worked the way they knew how, you know. It didn't work for me. Like I said, I struggled. I'm going through therapy right now, you know, trying to recover from all of that so that I can have a better marriage and a better business relationship with my partner, because all of that played, you know, a role in how hard we had it when we in our first couple of years, you know. But other than that, you know, I wasn't threatened by any gangs and girl gangs, you know. I was more performing arts, so I was rapping in high school and I was popular. So I didn't have a lot of trouble in school, except for not going to math class and barely graduating. But I didn't have, you know, those type of issues. My parents didn't abuse me, you know, as far as them going to jail behind some stuff, you know. Just the normal Black family abuse that we're all used to, not listening, you know, don't shut up, don't say nothing, this is what I say, this is what you're gonna do, you know, the typical stuff. So, you know.
All right, yeah, Delvon, go ahead. Shoot, I'll give y'all the shortcut version of it. My upbringing was different. I came out of a traditional two parent family home. Loving parents, loved their children, did what they knew best to give their children what they were supposed to, and what they knew to give us a great opportunity of potentially being successful as individuals and then also in society. However, I grew up in an environment that statistically was, you know, either death or jail, period, straight up. You know, I was born in Los Angeles, 65th and Gage, right in the heart of the Raymond Avenue Crips. I had two older brothers, one who was an introvert who shied away from the gang life, and my eldest brother who embraced it, you know, basically one of the original Crips, basically. And seeing that, trying to find my way, I didn't know which path to follow. Do I follow this straight and narrow path in which my parents are instructing me to follow, or do I follow this path that I'm seeing another brother who basically, we are often know that our siblings oftentimes have a greater influence oftentimes than our own parents. And so I'm like, okay, well, do I follow the influence of my brother who I'm seeing being glamorized, who was a phenomenal athlete, by the way, played all sports, you know, he was a ladies' man. You know, as a matter of fact, I recall, I shared this with my children and my wife. I recall my brother being 16 years old, and I think it was like 3 or 4 white gentlemen came to my parents' home, and they were having a meeting. They were trying to get my brother to play professional basketball then overseas in Germany at 16 years old. And we're in awe, you know, we're completely in awe. Unfortunately, my brother was so heavily involved in the streets to whereas he didn't see the wise picture of taking that route as opposed to the street life. Because once again, back then, unfortunately, the street life was glamorized. You weren't technically highly respected in the neighborhood if you didn't have this car, this amount of cash, or this amount of jewelry, or this amount of ladies that you know you were dating at one time, or this, that, and the other. So you know, I battled with that. I battled with the instructions of my parents as opposed to the influence of you know, my environment and my brothers. So in doing that, I always had a knack for business, even in seeing corruption through business, even seeing ethical business practices. I always saw business. Didn't know what type of business, you know, I would eventually dive into. I just knew business. I had a knack for it. I literally had a knack for business. And so time went by, went through school, went through high school, made it out of high school, played sports and all of that good stuff. Came out of high school. I boxed for a while, all the while actually, I share this with my kids all the time. You know, I ran a nightclub in the heart of Hollywood. It was actually called Casablanca's at the time, on Sunset Boulevard. I was 18 years old, running a 21 and over club. Major celebrities going through. I don't know how much this be televised, so I can't spit out the celebrities' names that were regularly. I mean, I'm talking about from Nia Long to Jada Pinkett to Dr. Dre, Raphael Sadiq, and I'm talking about these were people that I was actually, as an 18-year-old kid, regularly brushing shoulders with, you know, and making a substantial amount of money. Along with would go home 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, be right back up 5 or 6 in the morning at sand dunes working out because I was boxing at the time. I'm training. And so, you know, I thought that was the route to take. Okay, you know, I'm in entrepreneurship and I'm going to become this professional boxer. And so the thing that I lacked at that time, I had ambition, I had drive, but I did not have financial literacy. And me not having financial literacy, I saw, I mean, it didn't even, basically, sometimes didn't even touch my hand before it actually got spent. I mean, literally, it was literally spent before it officially had even touched my hand for me to even count it, you know? But this was my upbringing. You know, I came out of a traditional setting where, you know, I saw the drugs come through the community. You know, I saw people at the time. My dad had his own business, construction company called Star Electrical. I saw blueprints. I was shown how to read blueprints at the age of 6. I mean, literally understanding what a blueprint was. You know what I mean? And so I was torn between lifestyles. I was torn between lifestyles and didn't know specifically what lifestyle to really embrace and pretty much be molded into, because, you know, I just saw both of the dynamics of it. And from those things, you know, you learn, you live, and that's exactly what I did. And of course, I met my wife, you know, shortly after that, as a matter of fact. And, you know, I'm like, okay, this 9-to-5 thing is okay. It's cool. We're together. We're married now. We're you know, I have this family and all of this is good. But I knew entrepreneurship was always in me, around me, through me, in my DNA. I just needed to find exactly what it was. So, you know, I guess other questions will allow us to bring it up to current.
No, that's important you said that, because like that's what a lot of people have problems with when they're trying to start a business. They have a hard time finding their niche or their niche, or however you want to say it, you know, and they spend a lot of time having the drive and having the even the inspiration sometimes, but they just don't know which direction to put it. And, you know, growing up in those type of environments, the distractions can kind of have your, you know, it says meditate on good things, like those distractions, like now you're thinking about bad things. As a result, you're reacting to these same bad things, and it kind of takes you off the path of like anything that was purposely instilled in you, not to mention all the family stuff you're going through at the same time. So it kind of, you could definitely go down a rabbit hole, man. I see myself do it a lot of times before, a lot of times. You find yourself, especially you get older, more or less unlearning things than sometimes.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. For sure.
Yes.
All right, but I want to keep it going. I want to jump right back into it and ask you guys, how did you actually start your business? Like, how was day one for you?
Wow.
Which business? Like,
Okay.
the most really
I'll bring it. You tell them taxes, I'll tell them about the salon. Is that fair? Or you want to do it that way?
The salon was, I just
well, that's how we started.
I think that's important though. We need to hear every step because
okay,
yeah.
So,
get discouraged by.
I'll tell them
they
about
get
the salon,
discouraged by each step, and you have to go through every step, every emotion, and that's what we want to inspire people about. Like, listen, you have to go through every stuff you didn't like, stuff you did like. It's all a growing process. It's never going to just be. You always think it's going to be your way. They say it's not your way, it's God's way.
I love how I asked that question, and they're like, "Which one? What should we start with?" Okay, yeah.
Well, I would say
that's exactly why, because they need to hear about every single one.
Okay, absolutely. My first one, when I met him, I was doing hair. I was styling hair. I would say that because now I have no desire to get a salon. I mean, my daughters, they have to find a stylist. I have that just totally went away. I think that was probably the start of me finding who I was in the business world. I had to learn a whole lot when I started that salon. My husband I think he was divorcing me like every 2 weeks because I was constantly messing up. I was constantly messing up big time, not only at home, not only in my marriage, but I was messing up in the salon with the customer service was raggedy. I think I kept people because I started when I was 18 and I had a good vibe, and the women love to talk to me. We can talk and, share things. And, women, we're very intimate creatures. And I think that's what kept my clientele, booming, other than the fact that I could really throw down on some short haircuts. But my customer service was so pitiful. My business ethics was I didn't have my salon set up the way it was supposed to be. I cut corners. I was just being a really ratchet salon owner. From the people that I allowed to work with me, that energy just followed me when I was trying to find people to work. They were ratchet and just, unknowing about a lot of things. My husband wasn't so involved. I think the most involvement he had was encouraging me to get from under someone else and get your own. I found a place. I know you can do it with your decoring skills and, your personality, babe, we can do this. However, he really wasn't, he was working for Inglewood Police Department at the time. So he really didn't have time to really be in there. Only thing that I think he really saw is that, where's the money? I mean, I see the clients, I see people coming in here, but where's the money? And he kind of allowed me to bump my head. So that salon business ending up, dissolving. And the hustler that I am, I jumped right into something else. And with the same business ethics, the same, wrong way of doing things. But this time, because now the kids are getting older, we wanting more. Now my husband is like, wait, this is me. This is too much money for you to mess up. So my husband and my brother got involved and was like, hey, you got to do something different. So now this is the tax business.
That's it.
Yes. I think, as she say, as she transitioned into the tax business, I, at the time, was working full time. And I said, okay, if this is what you want to do, because I was accustomed to my wife coming to me with different ideas that she had, which she, did often. And I was like, okay, you sure this is what you want to do? However, if you do it, I want you to basically excel in it. So get the information that you need in its entirety. And I'm sure that there's progressive information, that you'll receive as you further pursue it. And so, I saw her making, gallant efforts behind it, because I was reluctant to support it at first. I was reluctant to support it because I'm like, okay, well, hey, I'm working. As a matter of fact, I was working 2 jobs at the time, eventually 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, sufficient income is coming in. We already had our experience from the salon. I was kind of bummed out behind that because I had some visions and ideas for it that I felt were a stifle, if you would, and that really I felt could have really expanded the business. So I'm like, I'm bummed out. I'm like, okay, I guess 9 to 5 is what it's going to be for the rest of my remaining working days, and we call it what it is. However, I still had that ounce of entrepreneurial energy left in me, but once again, still didn't know what, did not know exactly what. Well, here goes the most triumphant experience in my life. First, my father transitioned, who was the closest male in my life. My father transitioned in 2010. My father transitioned 2010. I was separated from my wife, in the process of opening a barbershop. And all of this happened. And my wife and I reconciled, got back together, still felt that void, was working still the 9 to 5, 3 jobs at this time, 3 jobs, still felt that void. She's doing taxes, but working for someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to prison. When I went to prison in 2013, when I went to prison, it felt like my whole world stopped. That was the end. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. This is the end all to the dreams, aspirations, and everything. Fortunately, through great support of family and friends, I was able to align myself after being released a year later, and realize I don't want to do the 9 to 5 thing anymore. I don't want to do it. Not that I could not be hired, doing something else, so on and etc. I did not want to do the 9 to 5 thing. So I specifically explained to my wife, I said, listen, I'm not going back to the job. This entrepreneurial thing, we're giving it 150%. Either we fail big, or you might as well walk away from me right now, because I'm not going back to the 9 to 5. Needless to say, 2015 to current, I have not thought about a 9 to 5. Several reasons. 1, business has done extremely well. 2, it was destined to do well because my mind was made up. It has to do well. It has no other option other than doing well. I saw the success of others in the industry. I said, there's no way that success cannot be bestowed upon us if we're consistent, if we educate ourselves further in this business, if we apply all of the information that has been given to us to succeed in this industry. And we did just that. And literally the business literally took off and flew.
Yeah.
It literally took off and flew.
Oh, you guys have a full plate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It took off and flew. But once again, individually, I was determined to make it fly. Because one thing that my father instilled in me, even playing Pop Warner sports, I recall one time being hurt. And I had strained my hamstring. I had intercepted the ball, and I was running the ball back and strained my hamstring. My dad was wrapping my leg up, too tight, might I add. I told my wife, I was like, he was hurting me actually more than he was helping me. But I remember him telling me, looking me eye to eye, telling me, there's no one out there that's better than you. You're the best. I remember those words. He didn't tell me that all the time. I remember specifically being told that then. Those words penetrated through. It was literally, I'm sure all of us have a tattoo or have seen people with tattoos. It was literally as if those words were being tattooed into my mind, into my heart. So from that time, even though I went through very tumultuous experiences after then as a child, it was still tattooed in me to succeed, to succeed, to succeed, to succeed. Even when, as I was sharing with you all, I'm in prison, I'm like, stick a fork in me, I'm done. Life is not going any further past this. I'm going to be a statistic. Another Black man incarcerated, taken from his family, single mom, has to take on the children from this point on, boom, I'm done. But the tattoo of you're going to succeed, you're the greatest, get back out there, there's no one better than you, no one better than you. Those words kept being echoed in my head, and I took that same drive, determination, during that tax season of 2015, and I think we had quadruple profit that particular year. As a matter of fact, when I made it home from being incarcerated, my wife specifically told me in April, typically tax season is slowed down or has ended around April. And I said, but what about all the people that don't know about taxes?
Right.
What about all the people that need to have their taxes to be amended? What about people with back tax? So now I'm in the game now. I'm because I'm not going back to the 9 to 5. And from that, I took and built personally my own clientele from that. My wife was like, where are you getting all these clients from? Where you get? And I'm being totally honest with you. My wife is right here, my witness. I'm talking about all ethnic backgrounds. We're not just talking about providing the service to just only people, of color. I was providing the service to Japanese, Chinese, Hispanics, nurses, all genres of industries. And I'm like, what? And what was amazing to me was that most of these people that I was coming in contact with didn't realize, wow, you mean to tell me I can still file taxes after April? Most of the people that I had, contact were ignorant to the fact of knowing that, hey, once April hit, you can't file your taxes no more until the next year. Well, here I came. I'm sorry?
How do you find these people?
I found them literally. I went from one end of South Central to the other. Listen to me, on a scooter.
Okay.
On a scooter. This is if you look in our garage now, as opposed to a picture, maybe we do need to do a before and after, find some pictures of the scooter, and then say, hey, from scooter
Anthony
to
put them up. Anthony put them up.
Yeah, I'll put them up. If you can find it, I'll put it up.
Yes. Because I'm one that I love to let people see the transparency of knowing that you can succeed totally in your passion.
Yes.
Totally succeed in your passion. And literally, as you asked me, Victor, I literally was traveling from grocery stores on a scooter to sometimes to a mall, to the local county buildings.
Pick up my daughter from work on a scooter.
Yeah, libraries. I mean, wherever there was a gathering of people, I was showing up, marketing myself,
Mhm.
promoting the business, promoting the services that the company provided.
What do you do?
And
You give them a business card, or you have a
yes,
slogan? What
yes,
you
I
do?
would, yes, I would give them a business card. As I'm giving them the business card, oftentimes I would simply, can I be transparent?
Please, because we didn't really have a lot of business cards.
Yeah, let me be transparent. You know, I've never been shy with approaching people, right? So as the youngsters would call it, I pulled out that old school player in me, right? So I'm like,
Yeah,
you know, so I'm like, okay, if I wasn't afraid back then to go up to the prettiest girl,
yeah.
you know, and get her phone number, this and that, and the other, which it didn't benefit me nothing. I said, wait a minute, why can't I go up to people that I don't know anything about and offer a service that I know more than likely they'll need at some point, whether it's through me or someone else, and actually be compensated for this? So I went with the confidence of knowing. My mindset was, if they listen to what I have to say, then I'm more than confident they would allow me to provide my service.
Yes.
Now I can't offer you something if you won't listen to it. I get it. Everybody didn't listen to what I had to say. However, those that did, I'm doing your mama taxes, your granny taxes, your cousin taxes, your kids taxes. You know what I mean? Because how I looked at it was, I may not have another client after you. So let me maximize this one person and get 5 clients out of the one person. That's
the chain effect. That's the chain effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
yes.
what he had. And he trained all of our employees to have that same mindset, starting with our daughters. I heard Anthony say, you guys had a full plate. Well, I was teaching my daughters when I was in a salon how to work with us. I was instilling in them, you guys gonna make more money with me and your father than you will on a job. Makai, my youngest, last one to get it. Makai has not worked since the pandemic, and she has not been on unemployment. She's been working for us. When anytime we start a new deal, a new project, her and 7 is right on the money. Brooklyn now is getting it and trying to launch her own thing. But I have instilled in those kids, hey, when you guys see we working in business, you guys got to get in where you fit in. I literally demanded that they quit their jobs and you come work for the family business, because you guys have to know this. This is what our culture miss sometimes. Mom and dad working hard and the kids doing their own thing. No, what's keeping those kids out of trouble is them seeing how beneficial and how much they're able to keep up with their other friends working for their parents, and their other friends must work the jobs to afford car notes and to afford rents. Where they don't have to do that. If you don't work for a whole month, you still got your car, you still got your your mortgage, and you can still travel if you want. So we have instilled that in our kids since day one, and they have learned the hustle, the get up from me, and the what would you describe my work ethic?
Your work ethic? Determined.
They
Determined.
have that. 7 has a lot of her dad ways because she's very detailed. She's, I hate to say it, but she's a lot more detailed than what I am. She can say, oh, Mom, you're doing this. Let's do it this way. I'm going to send you an outline. I have emails from my daughter right now because she's sending me an outline for this next tax season. I haven't even opened them up. And if she finds out that I haven't opened them up, she'll probably be done. But she sends me outlines and things that I need to just to make my workload easier. But that came from her watching, getting involved, and, just keep watching and seeing the stress and all that. And her sisters are following right, in our footsteps. So.
Yeah, you guys got a beautiful cycle going on. The system seems well put together and well organized.
We're trying.
I want to ask you guys too, what type of materials did you guys actually need to start your business? Like, what type of things did you have to actually gather up before you can say, okay, I'm in business now?
Well, initially we ran our business terrible up until recent, and is the reason why we've been afforded the opportunity to retire at this point. Before we literally just did the basics. The basic was DBA, fictitious business name.
Let me stop you. For the people that don't know, because this is the stuff that people really they need to know. What is a DBA for those who don't know?
A DBA is abbreviated as doing business as. Okay. It is recommended that any business that is in business should have a DBA, a doing business as, a name for that particular business that you're doing business as. So, you know, relating it obviously to us, we did that. We did the basics. We didn't understand anything about the differences between an LLC, LLP, SCorp, SCorp, so on and etc. We didn't understand any of that. So when we got the basic information to open business, that's exactly what we did. Got the basic information to open business.
What'd you go with? Did you go with an LLC starting off or a sole proprietorship? What'd you end up going with starting off?
We started off as a sole prop.
I think that's important you said that, because sometimes people always hear the stigma of LLC, and sometimes they're not ready for an LLC because they're not ready for that annual fee. And that rhymes.
There you go. They're not ready for a lot of stuff that comes with the LLC.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
it gives you that protection, but it comes with contingencies.
Yes. Now,
so like break that down for these people so they can know something.
Okay. Well, I'll say this, catapulting into what I'm going to tell you what business evolved into. The LLC definitely, you know, it's abbreviated, you know, limited liability, you know, coverage or whatever, or liability for any type of wrongdoing that someone may feel as though has occurred, so on and so forth. It removes you as the personal individual from being at fault for that. Could be poor business practices that they're pursuing a lawsuit behind you, could, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, it removes the individual, the personal individual, from any wrongdoings at that point. So it's good to have the LLC. However, let me bring you to current. After doing a substantial amount of furthering of my research, I would recommend for all business owners that you get a revocable trust.
Okay.
That you get a SCorp, an incorporation, incorporate your business.
Okay.
And also an LLC as the day-to-day operations of that business.
Ooh, you just broke down a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot, but it is not as much as what you think. The revocable trust, which should be owned by the business, the revocable trust now has the trust as an entity as opposed to a person. Okay? The trust is the entity.
So that meaning they can't come after your personal assets, like
absolutely.
They got to sue the business name.
So it's not connected to your social security number. It's connected to an IE created as a business.
Absolutely. We don't have the time. However, you can do further research, or maybe have us on a part two, whatever.
Part two, part three, 5, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. But the actual trust, the SCorp and the LLC, places you, if structured properly, in the position to receive hundreds of thousands into the millions for business funding, and then places you in the position where the entity is tax-free. I know that sounds crazy.
That sounds like some Donald Trump right there.
Well, I'm not gonna get into that over these airwaves. However, I learned this from other wealthier people who were more experienced, who were in business, who I'm sitting back saying, why is it that you're so relaxed, or you're traveling during your peak of your business season? What is going on? Tell me the secret. You know, what's happening? Are you really not in business? Did your business fold and you're retired now? No, I'm still running. I'm trying to figure out, how are you able to do this when during the peak of our business season, we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off. We're trying to accommodate all of these clients. We're trying to make sure those in whom we've employed are doing what they're supposed to do to make sure that these clients are happy, and all that. Like what? And after, as I stated, restructuring the business, this is less than a year later, we're retiring.
I just saw y'all went to Jamaica and all that. Anthony got
We're on our way to Mexico in 2 weeks.
Living my best life.
But I was Belize is even better. That's bang for your buck. That's even more economically smart.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. It's so, I'll share it with any individual, any corporation, any entity. The greatest thing for us was establishing the revocable trust, the SCorp, and having the LLC as our day-to-day operations. And then at the end of the day, establishing an IUL, which is an index universal life insurance, and investing in that and retiring from that with the residual income that's never ending. So like I say, it's a lot. I'll probably have to come back for part 2. I'm just
but I want you to tap in a little bit more of that, because I've just been recently hearing a lot more about this, exactly what you said about I don't even know anything about it. IUL, individual life, and they were saying, well, do you have your money in a bank account, or do you have it in that? And it kind of blew my mind, like, what are you talking about? And we need to even know what that is, because we might be totally missing a whole big target.
Yeah. I share with people, first and foremost, go do your own research. Number one. After doing your own research, then I often tell people, then come back to me, and then now let's collab, because now you have some of your own personal information that you've gathered, and then now I can share with you what I know for a fact, not what someone told me that I haven't experienced personally. Okay. With that index universal life insurance, with the death benefit attached to it, you become your own bank. You are your own bank. There is no more going to the bank, putting your money in, that little 0.1% that they give you on a dividend that you could never be able to retire from. That you could never really be able to invest or see money from, so on and etc. Waste of a time from our experience, because we had did it. We have the experience of, let's put the money in the bank, put the money in the bank, put the money in the bank, put it in a savings account, put it in a savings account. And then you do this years later, so well, dang, what's the benefit of it?
The benefit is you still working hard.
And that's definitely not a benefit. Not for us, it was.
No.
Yeah.
So still work hard.
Yeah. So
because it's not earning any interest.
It's not. So, the benefits from what we did was, we did our investing. And like I said, we opened up our IUL, which is the Index Universal Life insurance attached with the death benefit, set up our retirement packet, and as they say, look at us now.
Yep. Imperfect. Look at us now. That makes me
It
want to ask
sounds
you
like
guys.
you like low key almost formulating your own personal 401k, like 401k that you want.
Yeah. Yes.
Instead of going through some company, you say, I'm gonna set it up how I want it.
Yes, and I'm gonna invest in what I want to invest in. You guys not gonna take my money and say, oh, we're gonna put it in this stock and this stock. You know what I mean?
Because that's what
Like,
they do. Even if you do like a 401k, you can't even pull your money out when you feel like it. They charge you
and
for
if you want to
pulling
be
the money
taxed,
you
I was
giving
about
them
to
out.
say, yeah, you can pull it out, but you're gonna pay for it.
You gonna pay, and it'd be like sometimes like upwards $2,000, $3,000.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And you've been
Absolutely.
working 20 years. You gonna do me like that?
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that's the
And
system
that's
we
exactly what
live
they say. Yeah.
in. Yeah,
I couldn't
Yes.
wait to do you like that.
Yes.
right.
Can't wait to do you like that.
Yes.
Nah,
Yeah.
but,
And you know, like I say, you know, without saying too much, like that's why I would share with people, go do your own research and then come back to me. And then I can tell you what definitely my experience has been. And then now, if you want furthering of that information, I can tell you through facts and evidence, as opposed to, well, this person said this, that, or the other. But those are the routes that we took. And we're living testimonies that it takes a little bit of no time where you can place your business, your entity in the position to whereas basically if you desire to retire in the very near future, you can do so. If you want to take another percentage of funds to invest in another business, you can do so. If you, I don't know, whatever it is, if you have children, I know, you two gentlemen have children, if you want to, start setting them up, you have the funds to do that, whereas it's not taken away from your basic day-to-day living funds, meaning the light bill, the gas bill, the water bill, the so on and etc. So we've done it, and like I say, we're definitely two individuals, but yet partnering to tell people from the feminine and from the masculine, we came from I ain't gonna even say zero in the bank account, negative. How about that? We came from owing the banks, forget not having the money, but we came from owing the bank money, to the position that we're in now. And without any gimmick or game, we're here to tell you we're in a position to where it's we don't want for anything.
Beautiful. That's what they need to hear most of all.
Some
That's
more
what they get to.
Yeah. So
what inspired you guys to go into this field of work? Because you already said you were in any, like, you could have went that way, you could have went that way. So what inspired you to go the way you went?
Believe it or not, experiences. The experiences of being entrepreneurs. I'll say this: whatever entrepreneur hears this, I know I'm talking too much. I'm gonna say this and I'm shutting up. Let my wife talk some more. But entrepreneurs, I'll say this: entrepreneurs. Oftentimes the path to the vision is not always clear. The path to the end road is not always what you may want it to be, personally. However, I will say this to all entrepreneurs: take whatever it is that you need to take, whatever path it is that you need to take, whatever avenue, whatever level of education that you have to get, whatever job maybe that you have to work for a certain length of time. And I always emphasize that as an entrepreneur, give yourself a length of time in which you need to be on that job before that business that you have that desire to do or be is not worked on or operated in 100%. Give yourself a frame, because it is easy to get on the job, get caught up in, as they would say, the rat race. And then next thing you know, years later go by and you sit back saying, wow, what happened to me doing this? What happened to me opening up that? What happened? I always wanted to do this, that, and the other. And now years have gone by, and you know, you guys are, you know, clearly younger than me. I'm here to tell you, some of that passion for it, it does diminish over a period of time. It doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. Don't ever let anyone lie to you. It doesn't go away, but it does diminish. You don't have the same zeal. You don't have the same drive to do it, maybe as you did when you were in your 20s, maybe as you did if you know, when you were in your 30s, because other experiences come along, and those other experiences, a lot of times, it could beat the youth out of you. You know,
that's why they say work as a young man and then enjoy your spoils as an old man. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
true. That is
absolutely.
really true.
Absolutely. Because, you know, like I say, there's no way possible. We sit back and laugh at all the things that when we were, you know, young in marriage, all the things we were, oh, that's a good idea, let's do it. Oh, that's a good idea, let's do it. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, we were Johnny on the spot with ideas and businesses and things of that manner. But over the period of time, you know, my wife would tell you, nobody better not even call my phone at this point and say,
that's what I'm thinking.
You know, oh, Delvon, I got
You
this
be
idea
mad at
for
the
you.
phone, huh?
Literally, my wife would tell you, I'll give them her number in a minute. I'll give them my kids' number, because I'm like, no disrespect to that individual, but I'm done. I'm done on creating. I put in my time, you know, and I'm still a young man, by the way. I ain't no old man, but I've put in the time. I put in the effort. Yes, to now sit back and reap what I've invested in. And I'm doing just that. And I'm not going to come out of the life that I've built to live for myself and my family for the sake of basically nothing beneficial.
That's a good message you're saying. So don't, everybody out there, don't wait till you old and can barely walk to finally breathe.
Yeah, don't
wait.
do it. Don't
Start
do it.
breathing. It's okay to retire. It's okay to breathe.
Yes.
If you ain't breathing, you always got your nose barely above water.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we don't want that.
I think people oftentimes too misinterpret the word retire.
Yeah.
I think they, because if it wasn't for retirement, the way my work ethic is built, like genetically in me, I don't think I would have made the time to start traveling the world.
Mm-hmm.
The way I'm just built, right? So I believe that I had to walk away from the day-to-day operations of the business to now do what I've done. You know, you guys, I'm 46 now. 46 is when I started traveling out of the country. Now I could have, now here's the funny part. My immediate family, they've been in and out the country. My daughter's my wife. But because of my work ethics, I'm like, oh no, I can't leave this. Oh no, my client's gonna be calling me for this, that, and the other.
I gotta do overtime.
Y'all go ahead.
Your heart is attached to your drive.
Exactly. But and that would have continued for me.
Mm-hmm.
So in my retirement, it's not that now I'm retired and I'm just sitting in a rocking chair, you know, watching court shows all day. You know, no. I'm now more active,
right?
Now than I was in business, because in business it was just business. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't consistently exercising. I wasn't having the me time. I wasn't traveling. I'm taking on, as a matter of fact, we're going skating tonight. I don't know when the last time, you know, I went skating and didn't have to pay for it the next day because I had to get up first thing in the morning and go to work with sore legs all day.
Talk about that.
You know, so retirement is not, you know, I mean, it could be what you want it to be, but don't let anyone fool you. Retirement doesn't necessarily have to mean, oh, I'm just going to, you know, be this couch potato, getting all this work and just die. No. Life has been grand for us after the quote unquote term retirement, you know, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
That's beautiful.
We ain't gonna hold y'all too long. So I don't know how long we've been in. We're gonna definitely bring y'all back because I for sure want you to dive into more about the life insurance thing and about the differences between that and the bank account, because that's something we definitely need to understand. But we're gonna get into a speed round. We're gonna start with Veronica.
Okay.
You got one before me? Because I got one first.
I got a couple. No, go ahead. I'm gonna let you go
No,
first.
don't say a couple. Then let me go. Let me go. All right, Veronica. Best singer of all time.
Layla Hathaway.
Layla Hathaway. Okay. I don't even know who that is.
Wow. Now we really need to get off the phone now.
I'll say, okay, for your generation, I'll say Tina Marie. Tina Marie.
That ain't their generation.
He said,
everybody knows Tina Marie. Yes.
Layla's much
what
younger
you got for her? Because I feel Delvon said something about boxing, so I got some questions for him. So I'm gonna
he got a million boxing
ask
questions for you. Hold on. Let me get through these real quick. I want both of you guys to answer though. Okay. We got Nicki Minaj or Cardi B.
Cardi
if you
B.
had to choose. Cardi B.
What are we judging it on?
I swear to God, every single man says that same question.
Yeah, what are we judging? Are we judging talent? Are we judging talent? Are we judging looks? Are we judging what are we judging?
Let's go talent.
Artist.
I'm sorry, let me hear it.
Let's go talent.
Talent, Nicki.
Okay.
I would have to go Nicki over talent too.
I ain't mad at that. All right, Lil Baby or Da Baby?
What we judging?
Da Baby.
What we judging?
Da Baby for me. He's just an all-around artist.
Talent? Ooh, I've heard a few of those Lil Baby songs, dude. Lyrically, he pretty nice.
Not Baby. Baby is funny.
That dude, Lil Baby. Yeah.
All right.
Da Baby is more comedic for me. He's a more comedic rapper to me. The
like some
lyrics
ludicrous type stuff, huh?
Yeah, yeah. He's more of a comedic rapper. Lil Baby, I give him he's pretty good lyrically. He's pretty good.
You thought that question was hard. This one gonna be harder.
Okay.
Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, hands down for me.
Okay.
For me. Yeah, for me, hands down, Jay.
Yeah, we was talking about business now, wasn't we?
You see what I'm saying? Right. It's like maybe if y'all to, hone in on the scope of the thing a little bit more, I could have gave a different response. But if you're saying just all around, for me it would be Jay-Z.
Okay, that's good. I don't know which one I should do first. This one. Okay, I'm gonna go Biggie or Tupac. I'm gonna go that one first. Biggie or Tupac.
Same thing, just talent alone?
Yeah, just talent.
Biggie.
Pop.
Oh, we got a split decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just talent, Pop, for me.
NWA or Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang.
That's the wrong section of people.
Wu-Tang for me.
Oh, another split. Is that another split decision?
Yeah, I gotta go NWA. I'm sorry. I gotta go NWA.
That was too raw, huh?
Yeah.
Split decisions.
All right, go ahead, Vic. Yeah, go ahead. That's all the ones I got.
But I'm gonna get into might be a little too detailed. You said something about boxing.
Yes, sir.
You said something about, all right, Delvon, I'm gonna ask you. Top 3 heavyweights in today's age. I'm saying all the time.
Okay, in today's age, okay, if you're gonna go with today's, you got currently Tyson Fury.
Had to give it
yeah, I mean, if you saying today's, I'm going off stats. I'm only going off stats.
That's one.
Tyson Fury currently. I'm definitely still going to go with a Deontay Wilder, close to.
Yeah.
And y'all might not like this, but I am a big Anthony Joshua fan with 3.
I know why you said like this. He's been underperforming time and time again.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Why?
I think with Anthony Joshua, in my book, Anthony Joshua is the most talented boxer out of the three. However, I think there is some maturing he has to do. And I sincerely believe he needs to change the trainer. He needs to change the trainer.
Okay.
A different trainer, some more maturing. He's the number one pound for pound greatest boxer in the game, if those two things happen.
I'm gonna agree with you on this note right here. And it goes along with his training too. This dude, I think they protecting him or something. Like they not throwing him in there with no real sparring partners.
I agree.
Like because what's going on? Like as you can see, as a physical specimen,
yes,
you should be able to take some punches. And he ain't. Yeah. They've been protecting him. I saw he already know how to hurt somebody.
Yes, he does.
It looked like somebody ain't been hurting you enough. That's what it looked like to me.
Absolutely. And with saying that, that goes to what I feel the training needs to be changed. Whether it's his whole team or just the head trainer itself, training needs to be changed. And that's my perspective.
I think so too, because I think he got problems for Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder got more of that aggression in him, and that I'm a fight. You seen what he did? I give him his last fight with Tyson Fury. He was fighting to the death. I give him that.
Now, like I said, we judge it on warriors, greatest warriors. You know what I mean? I'm putting definitely Deontay in the top 5 all time as far as greatest warring boxers. You know,
that dude just had too much for him, too many tools in his bag.
Absolutely. He was the more skilled boxer.
Yeah, that was literally it, because he even dropped him. He was trying his damnedest.
He did.
It was a sad day.
He did.
A couple more years, bro. I don't care what any type of racial bias or anything. You got to give Tyson Fury, like, just was a little bit better.
Listen, it's just like any sport. You know, if you really a fan of the sport, at the end of the day, in that sport of boxing, hands down, you have to give Tyson Fury credit. Currently, as y'all requested, my current prediction, he is the current number 1 best heavyweight fighter in the game.
For sure, I give it to you. We're going to transition. We're going to get right in. Let's go pound for pound, because you got to eliminate heavyweights when we talk about pound for pound. You know, I'm talking about the Terrence Crawford, the Gervonta Davis.
Yes.
Type of folks.
Yes. You want top 3 or just number 1?
Let's do top 3. In no particular order.
Okay, in no particular order. Well, I would like to do it in order, if you don't mind. I understand it's y'all's show, but I would like to do it because I don't want this man to get undermined.
Order, we got to do top 5 if we're going to do order. We got to do top 5 if we're going to do order.
Okay. Number 1, hands down, and y'all going to see Saturday, Terrence Crawford is the best pound for pound boxer in the game.
Okay, I'm with you.
I like that.
It ain't up for
I got
discussion.
somebody on your coattails, but I'm with you.
Okay. A 1A or 1B if you like, a number 2 if you would say. And we're gonna see this Saturday as well. Earl Spence. Number 3.
I put my money on him. Yep.
Number 3, Mr. Davis. And the only reason why I'm not giving Gervonta Davis number 2 is because, once again, the experience is stopping me from giving him number 2 just yet. Give me a few more fights, few more fights, then maybe 2, possibly even number 1. But as of today, Terrence Crawford.
Don't he got like 27 fights though, or something like that?
Yeah. But one thing, as we well know in boxing, the one thing we know well in boxing, especially if they want you as that fighter, you're not fighting 27 fighters that were at the peak of their careers.
That's correct. Absolutely correct. I give him like 2 or 3 fighters.
Thank you. We understand that there is politics in this sport now. So that's so I'm giving him overall judgment on the fights that I've seen him, his opponents that I've seen him fight, were they evenly matched from what I saw, so on and so forth. So that's, once again, is my perspective. So, I give the young bull number 3. And honestly, I get the old man a close number 4.
I'm say Pacquiao.
Canelo.
Oh yeah.
Canelo, yeah.
I get old man number 4.
He undisputed now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I get the old man number 4. Number 5, I don't know which one I will go with first. So I'm gonna have to say 5A, 5B, and that's them Lion boys.
Ooh, I love them too.
Yeah.
I love them boys, man. I love them boys. They would be higher ranked for me had he not lost the fight.
The last one he fought.
Yeah, they would
didn't
higher.
give neither one of them a loss, but they did bad. Both of them did.
Absolutely.
They both did. They wasn't doing no training on that pandemic.
You already know.
Obvious.
You already know it. Yeah. So I give the twins 5A, 5B if I could, get a 2-for-1 deal.
These next two, both of them, their next fights, they better show people something. They're gonna lose.
Well, they have no choice. They have no choice, because I think if they don't show them that they are as great as what I believe that they are, they'll get caught in the rubbish of many other fighters that were right there on the brink of being, the upper echelon or in the Hall of Fame of greatest. And they'll get caught up in there. The argument will be there, but there won't be any facts to prove it. So yeah, their next fight, they definitely have to prove it.
You could tell with both of them, though. You could tell with both of them as they were fighting, they were not training. Absolutely. Obvious with both of them.
Well, one thing we do know, and this is from the great Mike Tyson all the way down. When you get to a level of wealth, when you've come from nothing, it takes great discipline.
That's that
for you to stay as hungry, as passionate, as driven as you did when you don't have nothing and you don't have no choice but to be hungry, passionate, driven. You know what I mean? It takes. I think honestly, the word determination, and discipline. I think actually those are understating. Honestly, those are understating. It takes a great focus. I would
meditation. These are the things.
Absolutely. I was going to say staying aligned would be the best thing, and even then, it's difficult. I'm certain of it. You're talking about at some point in a career being on top of the world. And now that I'm here, you're telling me stay there. And for many people, that's not the easiest thing to do.
No.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, let's jump over to the top 5 movies.
Yeah, this is
wow.
I want to hear both of y'all too, because I know we're gonna have another split decision.
Yeah, you're gonna have quite a few split decisions on that. Me and my wife come from different walks of life.
Yeah, he like gangster movies. I like romance.
Oh yeah, this should be good.
All right, let's hear Veronica first. Top 5 movies all time.
Okay. Damn, your multiple choice. I have some. Idlewild is my first one. Shucks. What movie do I like? I like all of Marvel. Anything Marvel.
You gotta give us one. You can't give us
Black Panther.
Okay.
Black Panther. Infinity War. Those are my top 2. Let's see. 5 movies.
You had 3.
Shucks. I love all of Chadwick movies, so Get It Up was another nice movie.
Okay, James Brown.
Get on up. what's a cold-blooded movie? Hey, I just watched it. It's called what was that movie? The Western?
Oh, the one that just came out.
Harder They Fall.
Harder They Fall.
That was a good movie. That was
very
a
like
hella good movie.
Very.
Yes.
Very.
And the other one, I'm trying to think one with a cold twist, because I like twists.
Get Out.
Yeah. I'll say Get Out. I'll say Get Out. Get Out was yes. Those are my 5.
His mind is amazing. The dude who writes those. Whew.
Yes.
All right, Delvon, give us yours, man, because I want
to. Y'all gonna laugh at mine. You youngsters won't know, but ask your mama. Bill Cosby, Sidney Poitier. Let's Do It Again.
Okay.
Yeah. Check that out when y'all youngsters get the opportunity to do so. And then I'm gonna run it back again with another Bill Cosby, Sidney Poitier for number 2 in Uptown Saturday Night.
Oh yeah.
I gotta do some research for your list.
Yes, please. Please. 3. And believe it or not, y'all will see. I love gangster. You gotta see them. That's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil it. So number three, let's go with, of course, the classic Friday. Of course, the classic Friday. 4. Golly, I think I'm gonna have to watch it a couple of times, but because it's fresh, for the benefit of you asking me now, Harder They Fall goes in that. I haven't watched it.
It was a good movie.
I haven't watched it like the other movies I mentioned over and over and over again yet to be like, it's official. Yeah, this is definitely in my top 5. But since you guys are asking me today, and I most recently watched it, and I love what I saw, Harder They Fall. So that's what, 4, right?
Yeah, that was 4.
5th one.
It's tougher than the regular questions.
5th one, I don't know. Debbie Does Dallas. I don't know. Shoot.
He said he was gonna name something silly. He said it.
I can't think of the 5th one.
He likes sitting there watching Dumber and Dumber and just laughing.
I can't think of I don't know. I'll say probably Hangover 3.
Yeah.
See, I knew it. Something along this. American Pie, something crazy like that.
Yeah,
right.
I like stupid comedy.
Right.
Oh, take that back. Erase Hangover 3. Replace it. Meet the Blacks. The second one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
That had me. Oh man, that movie had me. And I've watched that one now already like 5 times, and it had me laughing as hard as I have from the first one to current. So yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you mine real quick. Let's see.
Please.
Off the top of the dome, because mine is always subject to change too.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go Django Unchained.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Training Day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Menace to Society.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Subject to change. I'm gonna go with this movie called Inception.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Isn't that with Matt Damon?
That was the mind twist. That would mess me up.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh yeah. I could, yeah.
And then I'm gonna go. I always mess up with the last one. I don't even know for the last one. We're gonna have to go off the dome. I'm gonna have to go. I guess Boys in the Hood. That's a generic answer too.
Okay. It's not genuine, but you're just giving it to round off your 5.
My life too much.
That's right.
All right, here I go. My top 5 is Inception. That was a real good movie. I'm happy to throw that in. That was a good one. That movie Alice with the blonde lady, another brain movie.
Yeah.
Baby Boy. Can't forget about Baby Boy.
Come on
now. That's a hood classic.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna go. I really did like the Marvel movies like that too. I like the one where Thanos won. I love it because a lot of people don't realize he was making sense.
Yeah.
He was making sense, but it was just like it's like when you're the top of a business and you like the CEO or something like that, and you gotta make those hard decisions that don't nobody want to make. That's all Thanos was doing.
Yeah.
He was making the right decisions.
That's what's up. Yeah.
He was just a little harsh about it.
Yes.
And then what will be our fifth one? What will be my fifth one? I want it to be a good one. Now I'm gonna throw a silly one in there. I was gonna say Water Boy.
I was in mine too.
But I kind of want to say, what was that movie called? Anchorman.
Okay.
Anchorman was hilarious.
That was comedy. That was comedy.
I hope that
not
was
about it.
dear. He'd be dying laughing.
That
Step
was
Brothers was a good one too.
Yeah, Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, but yeah, man, we had a beautiful interview, man. Y'all dropped a lot of gems on us, some jewels, some good knowledge for us to take back.
That was our effort.
Everybody to absorb. This was good information. I appreciate you guys coming on to the show, the HNIC podcast. Where can the people reach you guys? You know, how can they contact you if they want to?
Let them know how to find the tax business or how to find the daughter's tax business that's taking over. Let them know where it's at.
Absolutely. I was about to be funny, but seriously, you were gonna say, how can they find it? I was gonna say, in the wind, baby. I'm retired. but they can find their tax business with Integrity Wealth and Associates, the number 7.
Okay, smooth.
That's that .net.
Yes.
Okay, so it's
.net.
Yeah. I ain't knowing these days. I'm not trying to remember none of it.
You're just waiting for them dollars to keep rolling in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having us, though.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you
problem.
for having
Anytime.
We
Don't
enjoyed
be
ourselves.
afraid to come back for episode 2.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. Till next time, y'all.
We love you.
Yes, sir. Y'all take it easy.
Bye-bye.
I would give them a business card. As I'm giving them the business card, oftentimes I would simply, can I be transparent?
Please, because we didn't really have a lot of business cards.
Yeah, let me be transparent. You know, I've never been shy with approaching people, right? So as the youngsters would call it, I pulled out that old school player in me, right? So I'm like,